Please help me to reach 1,000 subscribers. I never imagined that a secret could hold the power to destroy a life built over 12 years. My name is Clara, and for 12 long years I thought my marriage was unshakable, that my husband David and I had built something that would last a lifetime. We had met in college, a whirlwind romance that everyone envied, and I had thought our love was unbreakable. We laughed, traveled, and supported each other through everything, or so I believed. Life was ordinary but beautiful in its own quiet way. I had our children, 2 little boys who were the light of our lives, and I loved David more than anyone in the world. Or at least I thought I did. Everything changed one ordinary Thursday morning. I had stayed up late the night before, my heart heavy with the weight of a secret I thought I could carry forever. The truth about our children, the real truth, had been buried in my past mistakes, choices I thought were long behind me. I had convinced myself that my children's father didn't need to know, that they would have the life they deserved, and David, the man I loved, would never suspect a thing. But secrets have a way of coming to the surface, and some truths are too heavy to hide forever. David had gone out to the car to grab his coffee, a ritual we both shared, the silence between us comfortable most mornings. But today I could feel the tension in my chest before he even returned. When he stepped inside, there was a hardness in his eyes, a subtle tremor in his hands that I didn't recognize at first. I could see that something was wrong, something that was going to shatter the illusion of our happy life. My stomach turned as I realized what was coming, but I couldn't speak, couldn't form the words to stop what was about to unfold. He sat down, his face pale, and without a word, he handed me an envelope. My fingers trembled as I took it, feeling the weight of what it might contain. Inside were papers, evidence of a truth I had hoped to bury forever. It was a DNA test, confirmation that the children we had raised together, the 2 little boys I loved with all my heart, were not his. Not one of them. 12 years of life, of laughter, of birthdays, bedtime stories, soccer games, and family vacations, all built on a lie. And now there was no way to undo the damage. David's hands shook as he gripped the envelope, his eyes brimming with tears. I wanted to reach for him, to explain, to plead, but every instinct told me to stop. The air was thick with the unsaid, the silence screaming louder than any words ever could. Finally he spoke, his voice quiet, trembling with a mix of disbelief, anger, and heartbreak. "Why?" he asked, and it wasn't just a question, it was a verdict, a lifetime of trust crumbling in a single syllable. I opened my mouth to answer, but the words failed me. There was no excuse, no justification that could undo what I had done. He left the house without another word, retreating to the car. I followed, desperate, pleading, my voice shaking. "David, please, we can talk about this. I can explain," but he didn't hear me. He didn't respond. The tears streamed down his face, unrestrained, raw. I had never seen him like this, never imagined a moment when the man who had been my rock, my partner, would break in such a way. And in that moment I knew, whatever love remained between us, it could not survive this. Not the betrayal, not the weight of a truth so devastating. He wept silently in the car, his shoulders shaking, the sound of his sorrow echoing in my ears, a sound I would never forget. I tried to hold on to him, to reach through the car window, to remind him of the life we had built, but his eyes, full of pain, refused to meet mine. He simply shook his head, a subtle, almost imperceptible motion that carried the finality I could not bear. He started the engine and drove away, leaving me standing on the driveway, my heart shattered, my hands trembling, my mind screaming with disbelief. The world I had known, the life I had meticulously curated, was gone, taken away by the truth I had hoped would never see the light of day. Over the next few days I called him incessantly, left messages, tried visiting his office, but David had vanished. He didn't answer my calls, he didn't respond to emails. Even his friends, whom I reached out to in desperate hope, admitted they hadn't seen him. The silence was deafening, a void that consumed everything we had shared. I realized with a sinking heart that he wasn't just hurt, he was gone. Not physically alone, but emotionally, completely, irreversibly detached. The man who had once been my everything had disappeared from my life, leaving only the echo of 12 years of lies. I sat in the living room, the weight of the truth pressing down on me, the children unaware of the storm that had erupted around them. I looked at their innocent faces, the way they laughed, the way they clung to me without suspicion, and I felt a pang of guilt that tore at my soul. How could I have done this? How could I have carried a secret so devastating for so long, knowing it would one day destroy the only family I had ever known? My heart ached not just for myself but for David, for the children, for the life that could have been, a life built on honesty, love, and trust. Weeks passed and still David did not return. The house, once filled with warmth, laughter, and love, became a hollow echo of memories, a reminder of a trust broken, a love betrayed. I tried to explain, tried to plead, tried to make amends, but every attempt seemed to push him further away. And in the quiet moments, when the children were asleep and the house was still, I realized the cruel truth: I had not just lost my husband, I had lost the life I had once cherished, a life that could never be rebuilt. Sitting alone, I scrolled through old photographs, snapshots of birthdays, holidays, and ordinary days that had once seemed eternal. Each picture was a reminder of what we had, what I had taken for granted, and what I had destroyed. The guilt was suffocating, a constant companion that would not leave. I knew deep down that no apology, no explanation, could ever undo the pain I had caused, the trust one had shattered, the life I had irreversibly changed. And in that quiet reflection, I understood something I had never fully grasped before: the weight of truth, the power of honesty, and the devastating consequences of secrets kept too long.